So why is authenticity important? Well, it's fundamentally different to our cousins over in consumer branding. They're selling a dream. They want to sell a product that subtly promises wonderful things for your life in the future, greater happiness, greater confidence. But actually, where you decide to work, spend 40 hours of your life every week, is a much bigger decision than choosing which lipstick to buy, which beer to drink. And so people want to feel proud of where they're working. They want to be able to stand next to somebody in a bar when somebody says, "What do you do? Where do you work?" They want to feel some pride in what they do. So authenticity is really critical, because what you don't want is people to join your organization under the illusion of smoke and mirrors like this magician here, and find that you experience something entirely different when you get into the organization. That's bad for your reputation. It's bad for morale. It's bad for engagement. And so it's really not a good idea. But how do you ensure authenticity? Well, one of the first things I like to think about when I'm talking to clients who come to me with a EVP that's been developed in the past is think about who created your EVP. Now, unfortunately, often there are EVPs that have been built in the boardroom. Now, you could say, well, surely that group of people are the leaders of the organisation. If you put them all together, they should have a good idea about what their people want and feel. But quite frankly, they rarely do. They are a little too removed. And to be able to empathise with the people at grassroots in the organisation, it's really critical for you to be able to speak to people from those people in those groups. And so I would encourage everyone not to build your EVP from the top, but to build it from further down. Now, what do your people think and feel? As I said, the decision is emotional, not just rational. And so it's really important when you're thinking about what to say to your people, what to say when you go out with an EVP, is to not make stuff up. The annual report, your exit surveys, your Glassdoor and Indeed reviews, all of these pretty much tell you what people think about you though, but it doesn't tell you what people feel. So it's really critical when you're thinking about that emotional dimension of EVP that you give opportunity to people to contribute to it based on their emotions, not just their thoughts. And so I love a good old focus group or a co-creation workshop to bring people from the organisation together and to understand what they truly think and feel about working for you. Then how can you test your EVP? This is another really good acid test of authenticity. Testing your EVP allows you to understand, does it really resonate with the talent you want to attract and retain? Are you really building it with advocacy in mind? Will people feel proud of what your EVP is saying and want to be able to share that story with the people that they know? If it doesn't pass those tests, if people don't feel it resonates with them and they don't feel that they want to advocate for your organisation, it's probably because your EVP isn't authentic enough. So here are your 4 prompt questions on understanding whether your EVP is authentic. Has your EVP been built from the top down? Does your EVP reflect your people's lived experience? Does it reflect what people think and feel about you as an employer? And would your people advocate around your EVP?